What's going on, nation? I'm Scott from muscularstrength.com, and today we're going to cover the 3 golden rules for the single arm bent over row. Now, this exercise is great for building an overall thick and muscular back, and because you can support yourself with your non-working hand, you're greatly reducing the overall stress on your core and lower back, which will allow you to have more energy to pull more weight for more reps. And guys, anytime you can push your limits to lift heavier, that means you're in a better position to overload your muscles for more growth. But before we get started, be sure to smash that like button if you enjoy the content and click that notification bell. Subscribing does nothing nowadays. Only clicking that bell will ensure that you never miss a new video upload. Golden rule number 1, pull towards the hip. Now, depending on what area of the back you want to work on, there are many different variations of this exercise. But more often than not, the majority of us are trying to utilize it for lat thickness and width, but are not pulling the dumbbell through the right movement pattern in order to do so. So to maximize engagement for thickness and width, you need to pull the dumbbell as close to your torso as possible and always toward the hip. But the problem is that most people approach this exercise simply by bending over and pulling straight up, which typically results in pulling the dumbbell towards the upper abs. Although your lats will still engage, more emphasis will be placed on the mid-back or your rhomboids and lower traps. Now, you also have the option of pulling the dumbbell more towards your chest, and if you do this, you'll be mainly working your rear delts and upper and mid traps, which in my opinion, there are much better exercises suited for this. Golden rule number 2, focus on full range of motion. Guys, remember that you break down the most muscle for growth during the negative and in the heavy stretch, which for this exercise is at the bottom of the movement. If anything, you should actually try to pause for a second or two to really feel that weighted stretch before going into the next repetition. As for the flex at the top of the movement, this can only be maximized if you maintain the proper position of your torso without bending or twisting during the movement. But unfortunately, most people increase their weight too fast with this exercise and go from proper form at the top of the movement to basically completely twisting their upper body to help lift the weight. This greatly reduces the intensity of the flex at the top of the movement, and if this is you, you need to lower the weight and fix your form. And golden rule number 3, proper form is a little too overrated. And now, while it may seem that this rule contradicts rule number 2, let me explain first. Guys, you can't get caught up on perfect slow tempo form all the time for this exercise. It's generally a safe movement with a very minimum chance of injury, which can enable you to lift much heavier weights and shock your lats for more growth. However, slow tempo is still recommended for beginners and for those of you who may have been doing this exercise for a while, but have been doing it wrong. It's not so much about the bottom of the movement though, because that's quite easy to fix as you just have to extend your arm fully. It's more about the top of the movement because until you learn how to pull the weight up without twisting your upper body, you'll never maximize the flex and you won't be able to take advantage of all the benefits techniques like cheat and recover have to offer. Remember that cheat reps will allow you to overload to the max, but you still need to be able to do them with very little torso twist at the top of the movement. Also, while cheat reps do use momentum during the concentric portion of the rep, they are all about control during the eccentric or negative. In fact, one thing I like to do for a bit of an extra stretch at the bottom of the movement, especially with really heavy weight, is to do a slight torso twist until I feel all the fibers in my back ripping and tearing apart. So maybe give that a shot the next time you train with a single arm dumbbell row. And now for a bonus tip. Use a hook grip or wrist straps when doing this exercise. Now generally, I don't recommend a hook grip or wrist straps when training, but for this exercise, we want to disengage the biceps and forearms as much as possible so we can keep all the focus on engaging the lats. So be sure to utilize either technique, and if you need a new pair of wrist straps, I will link to you the ones that I use in the pinned comment below. They even come in pink for all my lady subscribers. And if you want to incorporate this exercise in your next workout, I suggest doing it first on back day or second after T-bar rows, and all you need is 6 to 8 sets of 8 to 10 reps per arm. I hope you guys learned something new today, and if you're ready to take your gains to the next level, be sure to check out my fat loss and muscle gain programs on my website, muscularstrength.com. Guys, what you see on YouTube is just the beginning, and I know that no matter how long you've been training or how old you are, I have the tools to help you accomplish your goals. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.